crazy mother.
Today I'm going to do a quick video about how to create a stage plot. The last video was covering some of the things that we look for and that would be good to include, and this is going to be a quick video on how to actually create it for free in an easy way, and a way that you can share easily and keep updated as your tour goes on. So here we are in Google Drive. I've just got a folder of stage plots in my audio work folder of Google Drive, and I'm just going to use Google Docs. So go ahead and start a new Google Doc, just like you normally would. So the first thing I'm going to do is insert a drawing, and this is where you're going to do most of your stage plot making. I try to keep it really, really simple. So I take a basic shape, usually just like a rounded off square, and I'll draw the first one just about that big. Then I'm going to select that, and I'm going to copy and paste that a bunch of times. So now I have a bunch of basic shapes. So I want to use those to just kind of lay out. So we're going to pretend this is just a normal rock band. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay everybody out here in a pretty normal example of what a simple band might look like. And again, you don't have to go crazy on this kind of stage plot. You want it to make sense and be easy to look at quickly. So I'm just going to make one more of these, and I'm going to make him a little bit smaller. The reason I like using Google for this kind of thing is you see the way it's snapping. Everything snaps really easily. It just makes banging out quick stage plots that look concise and simple. You know, it's not super critical that you make everything pretty, but there's a reason why graphic designers make things pretty. It's because it's easy for you to decipher them when you look at them. So you want to make it as easy as possible to have somebody look at it at a glance and know what's going on. You don't want to have a whole bunch of crazy stuff you have to figure out and decipher on your own. You definitely want to make it simple. So I try to do that. So something like this is starting to look pretty good, right? So we're going to copy and paste this once, then I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller, right? Make that just a tiny bit bigger so it all fits. There we go. And then we can copy and paste a few of those. And sometimes Google, actually picking stuff up can be a little challenging sometimes. You just got to play around with it. It always works. It's just can be a little finicky. So we got a basic setup, right? This is pretty simple. It's starting to look like something. So I'm going to go ahead and just rough in something like this. Will be drums, and then you can fill in what you want. So like I'm just going to put minimum kick and left, right, overhead. Now we want to move this guy out of the way so we can actually see that. Let's go ahead and just make that a little smaller. There we go. Now let's get in here. Let's mix one. Just keep this simple. Mix two. And again, you don't have to draw like crazy elaborate pictures. People know what a monitor wedge looks like. You don't have to draw some crazy representation of a monitor wedge. This is going to be same thing with like guitar amps. Guitar 1. This will be lead guitar. This will be bass amp. And then you can go and, if you want to label inputs on here, that's fine too. You can drop down below this and put something like, drop down below this and put something like 57 on a Z bar. And then you could go and list another option or whatever you have. You can do that. You can do that under the drum section here as well. You can go ahead and put something like kick, 2 rack, 1 floor, 1 snare. And just to give a basic idea. That's absolutely not necessary. I won't include that on this one, but you can put notes in this section. That's the point. You can write a little bit about what's going on. Same thing here with the lead guitar position. Bass amp, you could write in what kind of DI you want. You could do something like DI on head or something like J48 provided. Something along those lines. And then what I would do is something very simple, like make it, if you want to make a shape or do a notched right arrow, right? And we'll spin that. And we'll stick that kind of there. And that's going to be our vocal. And let's give everybody here a vocal. And again, it's all about context. You know, you don't have to, just because we're drawing in the vocal mics, this is going to be mix. And we want to bring that to the front. And you don't have to draw an exact representation of the microphone is not necessary. So I would write here guitar 1 vocal, guitar 2 vocal, bass vocal. Sorry, that's not guitar 2 vocal. That is our lead vocal. And then you put plus vocal here if you want. So again, this is just a very basic idea, but you see I'm using simple shapes. I'm laying them out so that you can look at it quickly and see what's needed where. Okay, we need 4 power positions, 4 mixes, 4 wedges. There's going to be 2 guitar amps, a bass amp, and 4 vocals. That's really all you need to do. You can go more in depth than that and make it pretty and change colors, and you can add, you know, like the other examples I showed in the last video, you can absolutely add shapes for the drums and keyboards and get really into it if you want to, but this is a really good place to start. So we're going to save that, and that sticks it into my dock here, which is awesome. And we're going to go ahead and put the date, of course, always the year and the date, then example band, and then this is the most important part. Please contact. Add a direct number, so that way, no matter what, they've got a pretty good picture of what you're looking for. They've got the name of the band, a contact number for questions, and you can add an email in here as well, but a number is really handy, and a date showing that it's current. Pretty straightforward, right? So now we're going to come down to the bottom of our document here, and we're going to go ahead and add a table. And the table I want is going to be 3 by 8. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3. This is if you want to include an input list, which I would include something. You definitely don't have to go bananas, but I would include something. And the reason I do 3 by 8 here is lets me get 24 channels, which is a pretty standard sound breakout of channels. And if you're a band going into a bar or on a multi-band show where you're sharing the stage and doing multiple changeovers, you're going to want to make it as simple for yourself as possible. You definitely don't want to be asking for 24 channels worth of stuff if you're a bar band. That's craziness, especially if you're sharing the stage. I try to keep small tours to 8 if I can, and if not, then 16 is definitely acceptable. Under 16 would be killer, and it'll make your life easier not carrying that much crap. And this can be just very simple, really, really quick kind of stuff here. And the idea here is that you're not necessarily telling the sound crew what to do. You just want to give them an idea of what you're used to getting. You know, if double inputs on the bass is really important. To me, that's something that's really important, is putting a DI in a mic in case there's a failure and being able to blend the 2 different tones and getting different things out of the DI versus the mic. That's important to me, and if it's important to you, you should include it. You should also be prepared that they may only have 1 channel open for bass and you're going to use a DI. Don't freak out. It's okay. Just because you put it on this doesn't mean you're promised getting it. You're just trying to give them an idea of what's up. We'll do guitar 1. We'll do lead guitar. And then we would do guitar 1 vocal, lead vocal, bass vocal, and drum vocal. So there you go. That's pretty much it. That's a simple 4-piece band input list layout. And then down here you've still got room to add things like that, I showed you an example where a band wrote some notes about what they wanted in each mix. That's fine to put down there. Maybe a brief description of anything unusual that's going on. If if you do something weird with an instrument that needs a different technique, maybe a heads up and an email address so you can start a conversation. But that's pretty much it. So I would save that there. And then when you're emailing, if you use Google, you obviously know that you can attach things in your email directly from Drive, and that's cool. You can share this with people as well, so you could share it with other band members, let them take a look and edit it. But then I would typically go here and download this as a PDF. I would name it currently, so like I did there with the year and the month, and use that to send out. And then when you make a change, all you have to do is go back in, open up this stage plot, make a quick change in your drawing. I'll show you that now. If you open the drawing back up, you can make a quick change in there, save that again, and then download a new PDF with a new date. This is the way to do it if you don't want to spend $1 million. I've looked at some of the stage plot. There's some software out there that's, $20 or $30 or $40. I forget what it is, but that's crazy. You can do this very simply. You do not need pictures of things. Please don't waste your money on pictures. We all know what a grand piano looks like. We all know what a drum kit looks like. If you want to draw some shapes, awesome. But having strange perspective clip art to show a professional sound crew what a piano looks like is just crazy to spend your money on that. And this is something you can update from anywhere. I've updated things like this using my phone and my iPad. You can do it with a computer. You can do it from anyone's computer, and you don't have to have some special piece of software. So that's just my opinion, and that's how I do basic stage plots. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you've got any ideas, or how you do it differently. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to see some examples. Crazy mother. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Catch you next time.